Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today's video is about finding checkmating patterns. I was teaching this topic to the beginner and intermediate batch and the students really liked it. So I thought to share the idea in the public domain. It will be a series and we'll be starting with the back rank checkmates today. Now, to begin with back rank checkmates, first of all, I have to basically explain what is a back rank checkmate. And the position that you're seeing on the board is if the rook is trying to attack the king like on the last rank, or it may be a queen here, provided the king cannot go anywhere up. Now, this becomes a back rank checkmate. Even instead of a pawn on g7, there can be a rook on g7. It still becomes a back rank check. Some other patterns I'll just show very quickly. Now, this is again kind of a back rank checkmate. It's not on the last rank, but we are creating a checkmate on the last file of the board. It's the same thing. Rook should have an entry point to attack the king, number one. Number two, king should not be able to go. These are the two conditions of creating back rank mates. Let's go further again. So this is again the same idea of back rank checkmates. Rook is having the entry point and the king cannot go anywhere up. And you're creating a back rank checkmate on the back file or on the last file as you might call it. But yeah, it still gets counted in the back rank checkmate patterns. Now let's try to find the same idea. How do you implement and how do you understand patterns? So the way to understand these patterns is that suppose if you're seeing this position, what you can do is always, I'll be suggesting that you can pause the video and keep the video paused. The moment you figure out the full solution, you can enter it in the comment box, or you can just kind of note it down somewhere, or maybe just remember it and then try to match if the solution was correct. It's good that you're understanding it. You can go to the next position. If the solution was not correct, you should try to understand why the move that you were maybe thinking of won't lead to checkmates. Okay, so that's how you should always take any position, and that will help you in creating the calculations, and it will help you remembering the patterns. So when I will be showing you the first one or two or three positions on the board, I can personally say from experience that finding solutions from the fourth or fifth positions will be kind of simpler. Okay, so here the idea is my rook has the entry point on h8, but the king is not on the back rank, and I have to force the king on the back rank in such a way that the king should not be able to come up. So now the solution for that is queen f6 check. Pawn is forced to take, because if the king goes back, I have the same plan. Rook h8 checkmate. If the pawn takes check, king f8 and rook to h8 checkmate. So what you are doing is you are again trying to understand that back rank checkmate involves an entry point for the rook, number one. Number two, king should not be able to go up. So these are the two conditions. If they're getting fulfilled, obviously it's a back rank mate. Go to this one. Now, because you've seen a pattern just now, finding the solution now will be kind of simpler, because you have seen the pattern, your brain is kind of thinking in that particular direction only. And again, you can pause this video. The idea is the rook is covering all the squares on the 6th rank. You have to attract the king towards h4 so that the rook has the entry point. So the way to do that is queen g4 check, bishop takes queen, h into g4, king h4, rook h6. And that's how you create a back rank checkmate. Right now, these positions that I'm showing are kind of from beginner to maybe advanced beginner to maybe basic intermediates. Okay, and gradually I'll be increasing the level so that even if you're kind of an advanced player or you're already having the knowledge of back rank mates and how does it work, maybe you can skip the coming few positions, or you can just find the position the solutions fast and just keeps going forward in the video. You'll be finding the challenging ones at some point. So here again, it's white to play. Because you've already seen the pattern, the idea is I want to go on the back rank, rook into b8, but the problem is the queen is the defender. And you have to now again understand that every time what we are doing is we are just deflecting the defender away. We are distracting the queen away somewhere. And then we are going to enter. So one move that you can think of is bishop g3. And that is something, many of the students, especially in the beginner batch, told me this move. And I felt it quite interesting. That's why I want to address this. Bishop g3 is actually a decent move. But the point is, you'll be in a situation where your queen is under attack. And when you are attacking opponent's queen. And usually when that happens, that side will be in the plus. Who can take the queen first? So in this case, black is taking the queen first. So knight into queen, bishop into queen. And probably here I can just take one of the pieces. I can just take the rook. And take my knight, but again, it's completely winning for black. I can take the pawn on b2 and the game goes on. Again, you can pause the video here. The solution for this is, I hope you found it. Queen to f5. Now, the idea with queen f5 is now I'm again distracting the queen. Queen cannot take the queen because obviously rook b8 happens. Queen has to stay on the defense of the rook. So queen has to stay somewhere on this diagonal. So e5 is obviously not possible. d6 can be a suggestion. But now just queen takes rook. Same idea. And if queen to c7 happens, now bishop g3 works. Because the point is, the knight cannot take the queen anymore. The queen is not there on d3. So this works now. So wherever the queen goes, we have... Okay. So let's go to the next one. White to play. Again, you can pause the video. If you have paused the video and if you have found the solution, well done. The idea is rook wants to take the rook, queen is the defender. And how do you distract the queen? So because you've seen previous positions and you know that you are using the queen multiple times to distract opponent's queen, so the same pattern continues. Go queen g4. If queen takes queen, we go rook into rook, checkmate. And if something like knight to e6 happens, we can just be up a piece. Something like knight into knight, pawn into knight, queen into bishop. We can be up a piece, we can play the normal game, we'll win the game. Because we are having the extra bishop, yeah? Okay. Let's keep continuing the same thing. This time it's black to play. So black to play and create a checkmate. Again, the king cannot go up. The main theme of the position again continues. You have to find an entry point for the rook. The problem is right now it's not possible because the queen is covering that square. So again, you have to use your queen to create distraction. So it gets repetitive. And the moment you understand a pattern, you are not calculating anymore. What you're doing is you are repeating the same thing what you have found in the previous positions. So again, you have to use your queen to distract opponent's queen. You can pause the video if you like. I'll just go to reveal the solution. So the point is here, queen into bishop check. The queen is forced to take. And rook to e1 checkmate. Next one. Again, I believe it's white to play. Now this one is slightly interesting. It's not the same pattern as we were doing before because opponent doesn't have a queen. We have a queen. White to play. And you have to now imagine how will the checkmate happen finally. So where will your pieces be when you will be creating the final move, when you will be creating the final checkmate? You can pause the video. And now I'm going to reveal the solution. The point is, I can imagine that the rook, if it has the entry point on g8, it becomes a checkmate, provided these two guys are not in the game anymore. So I can deflect or distract both the rooks in a couple of ways. First of all, I can go queen f8, check, rook g8, queen g8, checkmate. Bishop has to take. So one rook problem has been solved. Now the second rook. So now we can go knight f7 check. Remember, king cannot take the pawn because the bishop is controlling that pawn. The rook has to take, and now we have solved the problem. We have cleared the path of our rook, and we have now an entry point. And now we go rook to g8 checkmate. Just to give you one more, and now we'll be kind of, okay, let's keep continuing this, yeah? Let's keep continuing for more. So now, because you have understood so many patterns of the same back rank mate, you can start giving some challenge to yourself. What you can do is you can start finding the moves within start with maybe 30 seconds or maybe a minute. Start with a minute. If you're able to find the solutions in a very fast manner, then you can give yourself 30 seconds. And again, if you're being comfortable in 30 seconds, you can give yourself maybe something like 15 seconds or 10 seconds, like that. Again, you can pause the video. It's white to play. And the solution to the position is queen f5. Now, why queen f5 is a very interesting move? Because not only it distracts the rook, it also creates a double threat of creating a checkmate. So something like rook g8 is not possible because of queen h7. And if rook into queen, we have rook d8, back rank entry point. Rook goes back, rook captures, checkmate. Let's go to the next one. Now this one is very funny. Now why this is very funny? Because the idea is, I'll give you white to play in this position, and I'll give you black to play in this position. And if it is white to play, white creates checkmate. And if it is black to play, black creates checkmate. So let's first of all give you black to play. Again, pause the video. How does black create a checkmate here? Now I'm going to reveal the solution. So the idea is queen g2 check, making sure that the rook gets distracted, which helps me creating the entry point. And now the rook is pinned. So the rook cannot move. And now I go rook to c1. And it's game over. Queen g2, rook g2, rook c1, queen e1, rook e1, rook f1, rook f1. That's fun part 1. Now let's go to fun part 2. Now it's kind of, let me just shift it to white to play. Now black created a checkmate by creating a sacrifice of the queen, right? Same goes for white. Now this is a kind of a famous checkmating pattern where the rook will go on h8 to create the checkmate. So you have to create entry point. The pawn is not allowing you to go to h8, and also the queen is there in the middle. You have to go something like queen h7 check, king h7, rook h4, king g8, rook h8, game over. So that's why it was a funny one, because it was kind of a either you checkmate me or I return the favor, something like that. So now I'll go to the next one. It is black to play in this position. I'll flip the board. And again, the point is, at the start of the discussion, I told that back rank entry points can be created either on the rank, also it can be created on a file. In this case, it seems like we are going to create a back file checkmate or back rank checkmate on the file, whatever you can call it. So the idea is the pawn which is causing trouble, but the king is trapped. Okay, so I'll have to ask you guys to pause the video. So now I'm going to reveal the solution. The idea is knight to g3 check, hg3, rook h4 check, gh4, and rook h4 checkmate. It's now getting very repetitive, I know, for some of you, but still it's important to know all these patterns, because to remember this is the main thing, and to apply it in your games is even the important one, the more important one. So here it's white to play. And how do you create a entry point for one of your pieces? So again, you can pause the video. And by the way, keep answering in the comment section. I'll be happy to see if how many participants tried solving these positions. Okay, don't worry if the answer is wrong or right. Just we are just having fun. So here again, we are trying to create entry point. So the idea is queen h6 check, creating attraction on the king. And it's funny that this queen h6 sacrifice was basically created by Magnus Carlsen in one of the rapid tie breaks in World Championships. And I guess he was playing against, if I'm not wrong, Karyakin. And he played queen h6 and Karyakin resigned because he was having the same idea, the back rank checkmate idea. One of the rook was probably on, I guess, this rank, or the other one was maybe some one of the rook was there that can create that can come here on the h8. It was a similar kind of a pattern. I'm just king h6, rook h8 is checkmate. So now, because you guys have understood enough patterns, what I can now do is, okay, let's do one more and let's see how many more I can do. Let's do maybe, we'll do 3 more, then I'll show you some high level back rank checkmate. Again, you can pause the video, white to play. Now the solution to this is, I'm going a bit fast now because I'll have to now go to a bit high level checkmates in the same back rank category. So let's see how we can do that. So first of all, we go same idea. Yeah? Again, we have to go rook to a8. Queen is the one stopping you, so you can just play. Now here, many students, when I was showing this position, some of my students told queen f7, and most of my students told queen e6. Now the point is, queen e6 is actually the perfect solution, but queen f7 doesn't work for one reason. So you have to calculate it without me playing on the board. So after queen f7, queen takes. Now the queen is very, very near to the king. And even after rook to a8 check, the idea is the queen can go back on f8. And after rook into f8, king into f8, black has the extra rook. That's why queen f7 doesn't work. The main solution is queen e6 check. Wherever you go, I mean, okay, if you go like this, now I can just take the rook, I can play the normal game, I can be happy, right? Or maybe I can, probably I can maybe throw in this move, I'm not so sure. It's a pin, and okay, but you have this probably, or maybe a check, new variation, you go here, then you can go back, I can just capture you. Yeah, same idea, because now f7 is made. I believe that is what the solution, complete solution. After queen e6, it becomes mate on the spot. After this, that. But after queen f7 takes, goes back, and that was something I was talking about. And black wins again because of the extra rook. So now I'll stop here. Let's go to do one more. It is actually back to play. And if you were following the video till now, you must find this move actually, because it's a very similar pattern that I have already shown, I guess, maybe 5 or maybe 4 positions before. Our rooks are trying to enter in the back rank on e1 square. Queen is one of the pieces that we have to kind of distract, and it's very simple now, right? You can pause the video, black to play. The solution is queen to d4. If takes, we go rook to e1, rook e1, rook e1, checkmate. And if queen c1, this is again funny, because now you can go queen takes rook, queen takes, rook enters, queen takes, rook takes, check. So anyways, let's do one extra. And this is white to play in the chat. Pause the video. Now the solution again is, you want to create entry point, bishop is not allowing you. So queen f5. And after bishop takes, we have entry point. So this is again very simple stuff now, because it's my main goal that most of you guys have found it. Or it's important to show if something like they try to protect, we can just go queen f7, queen g7, checkmate. Now let's go to some interesting checkmates. Yeah. So let's try to figure out some interesting checkmates in this position. Let's go this position. Now white to play. Now this is actually where I was talking about, that this position can be even tried by some advanced students. And it's white to play. You can pause the video and try to see how can the back rank mate happen. I'll explain the position first. First of all, you have to ask yourself, is the black king actually under back rank checkmate position? Because what did I say at the beginning of the lecture? That the king should not be finding any entry points. The king should not be able to come up. Yeah, that was the first thing that I mentioned. And here, actually, it's not a back rank meeting pattern right now, because the king has the escape square on h7. That's why it's not working right now. And my rook wants to enter like this maybe, but the knight is not allowing me. That's one thing. f7 is also a weak square. So now I've given enough hints that you can attack f7 maybe somehow and try to create entry points. So it's white to play, guys. I'm going to reveal the answer now. The move is rook e7, because now next move I'm going to go queen f7. I want the queen to take me, because now I can just take the queen by the pawn and I win the game. Next move I'm going to take this guy. Knight takes. And now I can just enter. I just create entry, and this is probably game over, right? If, let's go back a bit, if knight takes, after rook e7, now if knight takes, yeah? So if knight takes rook, let's say. So if knight takes rook, the idea is I have the entry point with the rook ready on d8, but the king is actually not on the perfect square. You are having a pawn here which control these two squares. So you can imagine that actual square for the king to get under back rank mating pattern is on f8. Because if the king sits on f8 like this, then it cannot go up. So queen f8, king f8, rook d8, game over. That's one thing. Now I'll give you one more. Now this is again kind of interesting. White to play. I won't say it's kind of a checkmating exercise, this particular position, but if not a checkmate, you'll end up winning a material. So white to play. Back rank is again loose. How do we take advantage? You can pause the video. I'm going to reveal the answer now. The point is, I want to go on d8 like this, but the rook and the queen are not allowing me to do that. So I can just play bishop c5, because I'm creating a next threat of queen e7 now. And if queen takes something like this, I can now jump in. Rook takes, checkmate. And if rook takes, same idea. We can just jump in. Checkmate. But now the main theme is, what if the rook doesn't create any entry points? So what if the black rook is not allowing you to jump in? Because now if you jump in, it doesn't come out with check. But your bishop is actually safe here. And the knight is under pin. So again, the next move you have to find. Very important move now. To pressurize the knight and also kind of create some intermediate threats. Maybe you can again pause the video. Now I can play rook d5. Why? Because if suppose if you play, because I'm trying to take the pawn, and I'm trying to put more pressure on the knight. Try to play something like f6. Not so good because I can play bishop e7, rook e7, and now again we are in the same situation where both the queens are about to be lost. And I've mentioned it already that if that is the case, that side will be on the benefit. Who is having the initiative? Who is having the first move right now? So it's white to play, obviously. So queen can take rook, check. King takes queen, we take queen. We are having one extra rook, we win the game. If after rook to d5, if the queen decides to move somewhere else, wherever, I don't bother much. So something like here. So now again, it's interesting. How do you figure out a pattern? So we have done this thing. We have done the kind of a similar thing before. And it's again kind of beautiful. The idea is queen e7, rook takes, rook d8. Because it's under pin, not move. And that's how we complete the back rank pattern. I want to give you one exercise here. It's black to play. And if you have understood all the positions till now, this will be a bit of a test for you guys. And this will be the final position. And I want to kind of know the answers in the comment section. So what you can do is, if you have solved all the positions, okay, first of all, you can keep commenting the answers position by position. And if you are trying to attempt this position, what you can do in the comment box is you can say final position, and then that's your follow-up answer. Okay, so just I can understand that, okay, whatever you will be commenting will be about the final position. So I hope I was kind of able to explain you guys how does back rank checkmating pattern works. Do let me know if you want more of such videos. I can create some maybe smaller checkmates, Borden checkmates, and Arabian mates, different kind of hook mate, whatnot. And if you want some other videos as well, you can let me know. Some of you guys have recommended me to create video of King's Indian Defense, and I'm working on that. It will take some time. And also, it goes without saying that you can like the video, share the video, do whatever you want to do with that. And yeah, but keep supporting the channel. Yeah, so I'll take your leave, guys. I hope you guys have a good day. Those who are watching me in a different time zone, have a good night and take care. Bye bye. Thank you.